Good morning. Today I just wanted to talk about the hashtag that's become really controversial. It blew up. I feel like it kind of blew up on TikTok. I'm actually not on TikTok, but this hashtag is called normalized normal bodies, and it's become really big on social media, and it's promoting basically real bodies was the idea. From what I can see, is that it was meant to promote unretouched bodies with normal blemishes like acne, body rolls, cellulite, all those kinds of things that are normal and that we need to see more of. The reason it's become controversial, and again, this is my perspective and what I'm seeing, is because it's become a hashtag in the body positive movement. And the hashtag normalized normal bodies is just that. It's meant to elevate the voices and the images of normal women. So I totally see how this is a problem to the body positivity community for more marginalized bodies and larger bodies. So plus size women and that the kind of bodies that aren't represented in the media at this point or are more largely shamed. And I saw a post by a body positive plus sized woman that I follow on Instagram where she kind of called out the movement. And at first I felt kind of upset when I was reading her post because it was definitely seeming, almost hostile towards the normalized normal bodies hashtag. And then I read it and I kind of, like I said, I understood already that the normalized normal bodies hashtag was a bit of a threat to the body positivity space. And I read what she wrote, and she said when a normal sized woman, so what they call that, they call it straight sized, so any woman who's not considered plus sized, but she's also not considered, like, I don't want to say model thin, but that's essentially what I mean, is like 000, size 2, size 4 typically. And even those women have normal bodies, and they can definitely belong to this normalized normal bodies movement, because even the women that are size 0, size 2, size whatever in the modeling industry, the images we see of them in the media are not real. They're heavily retouched, and they're not real either. So this normalized normal bodies hashtag does still apply to body shapes that are smaller. And what she said is that when someone of straight size posts a photo on Instagram using the normalized normal bodies hashtag, they are applauded and told, oh my God, you're so brave, you're so beautiful, you're so strong. But when, and that's when they use the normalized normal bodies hashtags, or they use a body positive hashtag. But when a person who is in a larger body or some more marginalized body, so we see these especially larger people, when they post a photo with the hashtag body positivity, just trying to show that they're proud in their skin, they're comfortable, just honestly being brave, and it's hard. They get comments like, you're promoting obesity, you explicit. Like, they get hate, they get explicit hate against them. And that really opened my eyes, because yes, I've been told to sit down and be quiet in this movement because I am a smaller body. Like, I'm not ultra thin, I'm definitely more in the straight size category. But the reason I felt really upset when people told me to, sit down and be quiet in this movement is, well, first of all, because I have been treated a certain way because of my body. I've never been considered to be of a normal BMI. I've always been considered overweight. Not that that matters, but I definitely feel that the culture where I live and just the culture around my body and other bodies and other women growing up affected greatly the way that I feel about my body. We see women's body weight changes making headlines on the news and in magazines. I mean, you cannot go, to this day, every time I go to the store, or at least every once in a while, I don't ever buy magazines, but I'll peek at the headlines. and you see headlines that say insane things like lose 45 pounds in 3 weeks. Like, that's not healthy. Like, and that's the kind of thing we've seen celebrated. How many times have you seen on a magazine cover, on a television ad, a woman's or a man's before and after, and in the first one they look all like grungy and sad, like all sloth-like, and then the second picture they're like, I can do so many things, I'm so happy now. And I think that's the representation in the media that I am trying to fight against. I'm trying to fight against not only those heavily retouched and almost emaciated looking bodies, because that's not healthy for us to be seeing, but neither is this extreme weight loss culture where we're literally, here's the problem. This is what these people who are considered, you know, plus-sized fat women who are being shamed out of the body positivity movement for promoting obesity, this is what they're fighting for, because these ads and this culture and climate is simply saying that obese people are lesser. They are not as happy, they are not healthy, they're lazy, they're arrogant. Like, this is the stereotype that is being promoted by our culture, and that's why larger bodies, larger bodied people, plus size people, extremely fat people are threatened or just upset about this hashtag normalize normal bodies going so viral and being so heavily praised. And what I'm saying, I'm not saying that the hashtag normalize normal bodies is a bad thing. I think it's an excellent thing. I think it's amazing for many, 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 many women like myself who do not feel represented by the media and who feel like they are not good enough to be seen. That's extremely common for women in normal body sizes to feel like they are not good enough to be seen because we see the flaws on ourselves that we are not seeing represented in the media. So anything that promotes, you know, showing cellulite or being okay with cellulite or acne or stretch marks or, you know, belly folds, I think that's all great. But I definitely see where when you've got someone who's of a straight size, so like that's considered like size 6 through size 10-ish, bending over in a crop top on social media to show their belly folds. I'm not saying those aren't real belly folds, but I totally understand why someone in a larger body would totally not be cool with that going viral and being heavily praised, while there are so many fat body positivity accounts that are shamed. And it's real, like it's a real thing. If you go on your Instagram feed and just, you know, look up plus size, like that hashtag or body positive, you will see accounts, hopefully, hopefully your algorithm hasn't completely sucked all of them out, but find them. And you will see that they get hate in their comments. Like some of these accounts even deactivate their commenting because they get so much hate. And it's not just like, oh, you know, like, it's not always disengaged hate. It's not always like, oh, this is not cool. A lot of it is like personal, like extreme shame, and like it gets real. Like these comments that these people get for simply posting a photo of themselves, and it's not even like they're provocative photos, and even if they were, some of these photos are extremely normal photos of a person wearing, you know, jeans and a t-shirt and walking their dog, and people comment giving them extreme hate and calling them the B word and calling them, you know, many other disgusting and awful names simply because they live in a larger body. And that's why I think that we need to like take a step back and at least appreciate that if we're, you know, promoting this hashtag normalize normal bodies, then I want to try to elevate the voices of people who are more marginalized and more silenced by this movement, because I hope that they feel that they can be a part of it. I hope that just like I feel it's important for everyone to have a seat at the table, I totally understand why saying normal bodies can be of setting to someone who's been told their body is not normal their entire life. That being said, when I post body positivity content on Instagram or Facebook or wherever I do it, I post it not to say, here I am, represent me, I want to be represented in this space. I'm actually here to say, here's my seat at the table, please come sit with me. Like, I want all of us to have a seat at this table, and I want to support you by sitting here. Like, I'm here to not only, show up, but what I really do is I want to show up so that other people feel that they can show up. And I feel like I've succeeded somewhat in that, because I have people tell me that I help them, like that I've helped them feel, more normal or more acceptable or more empowered to show up, whatever that looks like, whether it be, wearing a piece of clothing they weren't comfortable wearing, or just simply posting photos of themselves in general, or, just feeling more empowered to live their lives without feeling shamed. And I think that's really, really, really important. Whatever your body looks like, whether you are a size 24 or a size 2, like, I want people to feel like they have a place in this movement, wherever it is, wherever you find your niche, like, that's great. And these people who are following the hashtag normalized normal bodies, please know that, like, I'm not saying don't sit here. I'm not saying we don't belong here. I'm just saying that we need to acknowledge that there are far more marginalized bodies than our own. And it takes, like, you need to use your humility and use your compassion and really, really analyze what people in larger bodies go through to understand that this isn't a you're not welcome, it's a hey, we were here first and we're still not getting what we need. We're still not getting accepted in any way. The body positivity movement has been largely taken over by normal bodies and smaller plus-sized bodies, not the kind of bodies that really need it, the kind of bodies that still make people argue and make people shame and make people uncomfortable. And it's not right. Like, larger bodies should not make people uncomfortable to look at. Larger bodies should not get immediate judgments, because that's the society, that's the way we've been conditioned to think. We've been conditioned to think that anyone that's larger is lazy, doesn't take care of themselves, doesn't care about their health, doesn't have those kinds of thoughts, and, is lesser. And that needs to stop. Like, that's the problem here. It's not that normal bodies or straight-sized bodies shouldn't be elevated and shouldn't be represented in the media. It's literally just, we are here too, and we need our voices lifted. Like, I mean, that's what I'm seeing. I'm not sure if there are other people, obviously, in the body positivity community that are the larger fat people that feel very differently and maybe don't like what I'm saying. But whatever you have to say, just know that I want to support you. I want to help elevate your voice, and in whatever way I can do that, please tell me. Like, for me, I struggle because oftentimes people in these body positivity media platforms, they don't say, hey, this is how you can support me. They simply say, this isn't your place. And I don't think they mean it in a hostile way. I don't think they mean it in a sit down and shut up way, but that's generally how I feel when I read what they say. That's the first impression I get. I do have to dig deeper to see what they want and to see, kind of their perspective. So if you have accounts that you think really kind of help with this kind of thing, help elevate the voices of people in much larger bodies and help represent the body positivity community, please shoot them shoot a comment on my on my video, like message me, let me know, like here's a really awesome account you can follow, here's some great information for you, because again, I don't want to sit here and take up space just for myself. I want to be a part of this movement to help elevate all kinds of people and all kinds of bodies, not just straight-sized women, not just thin women, not just fat women, like all people, but especially those more marginalized people who honestly, I feel like have kind of gotten cheated by this movement because they created it and now it's being used mainly, or at least mainly given attention to by those more straight-sized women and more straight-sized bodies. So let's become more diverse. Let's show, you know, more trans people and more, you know, not just cis thin white women. Let's show all kinds of bodies, all kinds of peoples that are more marginalized and that need their voices elevated and need more representation, because this stigma is just not cool. Like I've only been in like a skinny fat larger body. Like when I've talked about this before, I have gone up and down pretty significantly during my adolescence. Like I was a larger body, but as far as the plus size community, I was still considered like a skinny fat person. So a larger body that wasn't, you know, exceptionally large. And I can say that you are treated differently when you have a larger body. And I didn't even have like a large fat body. I just had like a skinny fat, again, that kind of body. And I know that I felt different because of it, and I felt like I was treated differently because of it. That's not to say that in my body today, I don't receive judgment for what I eat, what I do, how I behave, how I speak. I do. I still do, and that needs to stop. We need to stop saying, oh my gosh, you look so thin, or commenting on what people are eating, or commenting on any part of their body, whether it be what you think is a positive comment or a negative comment. Truly the only physical comment I give people is, you are glowing, you look so healthy, or you look so happy. And I don't say it in terms of weight loss unless I know the person is comfortable with it. I never say anything directly about weight, ever. And I'll try to focus if someone did lose weight and they seem like they're in a better place. I don't comment if, you know, like, why would I comment on someone's body if, like, this, I guess what I'm trying to say is the circumstances under which I will say anything if someone has lost weight are if they have brought it up themselves and they seem to truly be doing better because of it. I don't just go around commenting on anybody's body that seems to have lost weight, because I know that a majority of people who lose weight do not do it in a healthy mindset. They don't do it in a healthy way. It usually doesn't come from feelings of self-love. It usually comes from feelings of self-hate. So unless I know that that change came from a really good place, like if I personally know this person, I will say, you are glowing. You seem so happy, you know, but I still will not make comments ever about someone's body size. Just don't do it. I just don't, because it reinforces the idea that our bodies are important and that our bodies are something that we should be judged by. And I don't subscribe to that. I don't believe that we should be reinforcing the idea that the first thing people notice about us is our bodies, and that our bodies are the most special things about us. Because seriously, like the way at least the way that I grew up, and the kind of representation I saw on television, in magazines, in ads on television, everything I saw told me that what women were noticed for was their bodies. You were always shown that you would be noticed first for your body. And I'm over that. And I'm a woman, I cannot speak for men. I do know that there is a huge pressure on men to look a certain way and The problem I see is that there's not a lot of representation for men. So if that's another thing that you know of, some accounts or some resources, some literally just books, anything you've got, send me a comment, send me a link, anything. I want to learn, I want to see it, I want to help elevate it. But yeah, that's really how I feel. You know, I really feel that the normalized normal bodies hashtag is a good thing, but we need to make sure that we're still helping to elevate the voices of people and the images of larger bodies, because those are the ones that truly need to bust the stigma, because there is way less stigma about cellulites on a medium-sized person than on a large-sized person. And I'm not saying there's not still progress to be made in both fronts. There definitely is. I'm saying there's a place at the table for you, but don't forget about the people that need you too. I hope you found this informative or interesting. I try to keep these fairly brief, but sometimes I go a little rogue. Please leave me a comment, give me a like, subscribe if you're interested in my videos. I have a lot of other content, but thank you so much for taking the time to listen.